So yeah, though that introduction is very brief, but I believe we still have a room and opportunity for everybody to do a proper introduction. Also, an opportunity to also share your profile where people can link up with you, be it on LinkedIn or uh, a platform where you can connect. Because beyond the class, it's also the interaction that we're going to have. Um, by the time we get to know each other properly, we get to know people from different background, different profile, and different other ways we can be of help or use to each other. And so all I can say is stay through for this program. So throughout, there will always be that opportunity for us to connect, to do it together. And if you are here to follow us on any of our social media, please do so because different updates, different development and things that we're doing will be coming out on those platforms first. And so it's important that you follow us. All right. Um, if you, I will share the link again. It's out here on the group, so do well to follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel because the recorded videos, that's where you'll be having access to it. So it's important that you subscribe so that when those videos are uploaded, you can get notifications and at the same time have easy access to those videos. All right. Today's class is kind of general, open to everybody, but after today, only those who actually pay for their sport will have access to every other thing we do, including the video we'll be uploading on the YouTube. It's so secure that even if you share the link, they still won't be able to watch it. So it makes sense that if you if you are here and you have not booked your spot, you have not paid your commitment fee, please do so. And this is also one of the reasons why we insisted uh, on having commitment fee. Because looking at the whole thing, there were about 80 people on the group. The link was shared, and now we see the turnout. Even those who pay the commitment fee are still turning up really, really late. Some of them are not even here yet. And so I'm simply saying that the commitment fee is just a way to make sure that you have a flesh in the game, something that is part of you that gets you committed to seeing the program to the end. Because your willingness to be a part of the class is just not enough. There must be something that keeps the drive that you don't want to waste. Well, without saying much story about it, that's just it. And today we are moving straight into the basics of data. What is data? What are we doing with data? And all of that. So it's going to be an interesting one. So stay put, pay attention, and make sure you are entirely in class. If you have any question, you need clarity, you have any problem, just ask question either by putting a chat in the chat box or you raise your hand for you to have the mic. Ask your questions and together we help each other to learn better the things we want to learn. All right, now I'll hand over to our tutor for this evening, Ms. Suziat. You have the floor.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. You're
All
welcome.
right. Okay. So give me a few minutes to share my screen.
All right.
Okay, please confirm if you all can see my screen.
Oh, yes, your screen
Yeah,
is
we can see your
visible.
screen.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is
Mhm.
Suziat Taufi, and I'll be your facilitator or one of the facilitators for this boot camp. And we are going to be majoring for this class in Excel. Um, Let me introduce myself, what I do. I I'm a data analyst and I also work as a sales strategy and operations analyst. So what I do is partial data analysis and a little bit of strategy and sales. Yeah. For today's class, we are going into introduction to data analysis and we are going to be focusing on Excel today. Um, like we all introduced ourselves before now, I would want us to put our name, what we do, are we students, are we currently working, where we work, and what we want to get from this class in the chat box so that we can all um, know each other, because this class is going to be very engaging. And let me just say, this boot camp realistically will be very engaging. So let's try to know one another for future projects together. Okay. I've not seen anybody put anything in the chat box. I need introduction. Our names.
Right in the chat
Yes,
box.
please. Thank you, Esther. Good to have you here. It's only Esther I'm going to be teaching today. No, I've not seen any other person's chat.
Mhm. Everybody, do we have busy hands? Let's start.
Please, let's try to engage. That is how we can help each other to achieve what we want to achieve here. We need to engage. Okay, so moving forward, since we don't want to introduce ourselves, it's fine. Um, so going forward now, I would like to ask if any one of us here can give us what we understand by data analysis. What do we know about data analysis? Because I heard when some of us mentioned that we're already doing some training, so we understand what data analysis is. So if somebody can unmute their mic to give us like a very concise definition of data analysis. Anyone? Oh, I'm going to start calling names. Okay. I think I'm going to call somebody. Okay. All right. Ebube, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Good
What I
evening.
understand about data analysis is like data analysis is the process of like you collecting raw information and transferring it or transforming it into meaningful outputs. Like
All
for
right.
example, um how will I put it? Like visualization, something like that. I don't know.
Okay. That's fair. Anyone else want to try, or should we just stick with Ebube's definition? Okay,
Hello.
who else?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Oh, sorry, good
afternoon.
evening.
Good
So,
evening.
let me just try as well. So, I
All
agree
right.
with what it will be said. Data analytics is the process of examining, cleaning, transforming, and interpreting data in order to discover meaningful patterns as well as answers, and also to support better decision making. So, typically, the process of data analysis involves the collecting of data, which is collection, also cleaning and validating of the data, analyzing of the data, interpreting of result, and also communicating of insights derived from the data in order to make a non-technical audience to understand what has been interpreted.
Okay, thank you so much. You didn't introduce yourself.
Oh,
Ooh,
my
yeah.
name is Rahim Mukaila.
All right, thank you, Ryan, for that broad definition. So I think we all kind of like understand what we want to achieve here, what our aim is for this class based on our definition. So I'm looking forward to everybody participating productively in this class. So let's go forward with our more understanding of data analysis. So we want to our environment and then the program overview for this class. So the North Star for this class is to transforming raw data into stories. So that is our main focus for this Excel class. What this class expects from you or from all of us is consistency and intensity. We have to be consistent. It's not just by learning and then we'll just keep it. After the whole learning, we still need to be consistent with practice to be able to build our skills to be better. And then the intensity, we have to be intentional about whatever we are learning here. So we'll be talking about the foundations of Excel. Then every other class will have SQL, Power BI, Tableau as well. So we'll be focusing on the why for this class. Data analysis isn't just about maths, giving the if function, getting the total average. Is more than that. So we are aiming to broaden our knowledge for data analysis in such a way that we have an idea of how we can use data to help people to make or help business to make better decisions and give business recommendation as we are going forward with this analysis class. So the career paths in data analytics, we all know, like based on our definition, I feel like we all will know this career paths. But this class is focused on data analytics. We have data analysts. They tell stories. They are kind of like a reporter. We get like raw data, clean it, work on it, and then transform it into storytelling, give business insight, tangible, meaningful business insight. So that is what data analyst does. Then we also have business analysts. So this particular career path is like a bridge between the tech and then the management part. This is the point where you give insights from your clean and analyze data. So this is what the business analyst does. Then we also have the data scientist where the predictive modeling comes in. We also have the data engineers. They are like the plumber of the data world. So they kind of like build the pipeline for predictions and analysis. Every industry like sport, healthcare, fashion, they all need analysts. We cannot say, oh, because we learned or we are skilled in data analysis, we would only be looking for a data analyst role. For example, earlier I mentioned that I am a sales operations analyst. I also do parts analysis as well. I get raw data, put it into Excel, clean it up, do some analysis, and then give business insight or sales insights from this data So these are examples of careers. We can have healthcare analysts, fashion analysts, sport analysts. So it doesn't have to be just data analysts. So we have, technically, a data analyst can work anywhere and in any industry. So far, whatever they are requiring from you is to give insights or work on data to give business insights. So that is that for career part in data analytics. I don't know if you have questions in this part before I move to the next. Any question? Okay, so it seems there are no questions, so I'm going to move to the next slide. So what the tools we'll be using for this bootcamp and class, let me just focus on Excel. Like I said, I'm going to be putting us through some parts in Excel. Please let us confirm that we all have a PC for this bootcamp. If you all have a PC, please let's just indicate in the chats like yes or no. And then the people that are giving reply as no, you can give us a reason why you don't have PC. Because this class, you really need PC. There's no way you can use your phone for this particular course for you to be able to understand whatever we are going to be looking at in this class. Please, do we all have a PC here? A functioning PC? Nobody is speaking, nobody is responding. Okay, I'm only seeing Blessing. Every other person, do we have a PC, a functioning one? And also, do we have on our PC, for people that have indicated that they have a PC, do we have a desktop Excel installed? Because a Google Sheet or a web Excel is not going to work for this class. We have to have a desktop Excel installed on our PC. So those are the very, very important tools that we need for this class. Okay. So since we have all confirmed that we have Excel installed on our system, so for easy tracking of all of our classes, assignments, notes, I would suggest that we create like a folder for this course or bootcamp so that you'll be able to access every of our data or file or classwork or materials that will be dropped for this class. Thank you very much. So what is data analytics? So like we all said or explained earlier, this is the process of cleaning, transforming, modeling data to discover useful information and then using it to give business insights and recommendations. And we also have different types of analytics, data analytics. We have the descriptive. This relate to what happened by using data to answer this question. We also have the diagnostics. Why did it happen? So this is another part of data analytics. We also have the predictive data analytics. This answers what might happen, like a futuristic analysis. We also have prescriptive analysis. What should we do? This is when this occurs after the predictive or the diagnostic or the descriptive has been achieved. This is where we look at the prescriptive. What should we do? So for this particular course or level, we'll be looking at descriptive data analytics and a little bit of diagnostics analytics, but the main focus here is descriptive analysis. So let's put that at the back of our mind. So this is what we'll be looking at all through this class, both for Excel and every other tool that we'll be using. We'll be looking at descriptive analysis. We also have what we call analytical thinking. It's not just by working on Excel. Oh, I can do if statements, I can clean, I can trim data and everything. We also have to have the mindset of an analyst. We have to think like an analyst. We have to like ask the right question. We don't just want to analyze data without having a particular goal or what we want to achieve with this with the provided data. So these are examples of analytical thinking. We have the 5 whys, that is getting the root cause, and then we also have SMART goals. We have what we call SMART goals. So we can use this particular frame to model down our analysis. We have the specific. So under the SMART goal, we have specific. We have to be specific with what we want to achieve with the provided data. We have to be measurable. That is where the mathematical aspect comes in. We have to have the achievable. What do we want to achieve with this data? Then we have relevance. That is where, like I mentioned earlier, we have to give meaningful, relevant insights. We are not just doing analysis and then giving any data that any analysis that we want. We have to give relevant insights, and we have to work with time bound. We have to work smart. So let's put this at the back of our mind as we go further into the class. Like I said earlier, turning a vague question into a data question. So any question is not stupid when it comes to data. You can be shocked that the slightest questions will actually give you like a very big picture of the data that you have available. For example, if your boss at work, or yes, let me just use your boss at work, ask you, how are sales? It's not trying to ask you, oh, sales are fine, then you not give answer, no, sales are fine. No, they are not looking for like a single reply or number. They are asking you, how are sales compared to last year, maybe compared to Q1 or Q4 or last month. So those are the kind of questions and the way we think when it comes to analytical thinking, or which region sales is performing more or less. So those are the kind of thinking we have to, or mindsets we have to have as analysts going forward. So we'll be moving down to, before I move down to Excel foundation now. So we are going to like the main Excel, look at the interface and all of that on Excel. Before we go further, do we have any question, any observation, input as to what has been explained so far? Nobody is speaking. You have to be engaging in this class. That's how we'll enjoy and then still kind of like get a lot in this class. Please, let's engage. Since there are no questions, so I'll be moving down to the foundations in Excel. So we'll be looking at the Excel interface, the basics, what we will find when we open an Excel file. So before I move further, Blessing, I know there's a Blessing in this class. Please, can you unmute your mic and so far, can you please explain what I've explained as analytical thinking and what you understand by it, and how you can always include it or infuse it into your feature analysis process? I call Blessing. I think I'll be mentioning names now as we all don't want to engage. Blessing, you can unmute your mic and give me an answer, or you can type it in the chat box.
Well, why are we not talking? Are we all shy?
I'm not talking. You don't have to be shy. We are all here to learn.
You can't say anything that is wrong. Anything you say here. So look at
It's
it
right.
together. If there's any of improvements,
Exactly.
right? So feel free. Let's be interactive as we can get.
Or if you are not in a place where you can speak, you can put it in the chat box. Let's just try to
It's because we
engage.
don't want to end up saying rubbish. So that's why
Nothing is rubbish here. We are all learning. If you say rubbish, we'll correct you.
So I wasn't here because I was doing something else, but I heard you
Okay.
talking about analytical mindsets or
Yes.
thinking rather. So I believe what you meant, according to my own understanding, is as a human being, making sure that we are performing a duty of data, we must make sure that our mind is open to what we're doing. We must make sure that we explore a lot of analytical process. For instance, we can be given maybe a 4-field or column of data. So it is now left to us to make sure that probably maybe if we are being given a sales data, maybe we should calculate the highest region or something. So it is our own duty to make sure that we think analytical by making sure that we create more fields or more column, or in order to create a meaningful column, probably maybe trying to sum up in order to get a determined sales of a particular region and the likes. So as a data analyst, we must make sure that our mind is well open to what we're doing and we think in depth in order to make sure that we create field and the likes. And also you make mention of descriptive, right?
Yes.
Yes. So you said we should make sure that we are being able to explain what has happened using summaries and trends and the likes. So that was what I caught
Okay.
in what you're saying.
All right. Thank you very much, Raim. It shows you are following me. Thank you for that. And I hope every other person is following as well, and then they are grasping a lot that they can. Like I said earlier, we'll be moving to Excel interface, what we can find when we open an Excel sheet. And I don't know if we know the difference between Excel workbook and Excel sheets. Can anybody give me the definition of that, or what they know by, oh, if they say send me an Excel workbook or open an Excel sheet, do we know the difference?
Okay. The difference between Excel workbook and Excel worksheet. Let me try.
Okay.
So a workbook emanates from a worksheet rather emanate from a workbook.
Right.
So a workbook is like a general Excel whereby we can open multiple worksheets in it. For instance, if we are being told to send a particular worksheet, we can probably maybe we are trying to analyze something in a worksheet. We can copy and send a report to maybe our manager to see or something. But a workbook is like a general interface of an Excel.
Okay.
So we can have a workbook and multiple worksheets in a workbook.
Yeah.
So according to
I think you've broken it down so well. Thank you so much, Ryan. I think you'll be my favorite student here, as you're the only one relating. But it's fine. Let's go on. So, like Ryan said, we have okay, Ebube wants to speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, a workbook is like a wait, how do I even explain it? Let me start with the worksheet. A worksheet is having maybe if you open an Excel workbook, you find sheet one, you can find sheet two, sheet three. But what I would say is like a worksheet is where work is performed, like where you do your analytics and the rest. Why a workbook is a combination of worksheets. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, yes, you are. Thank you for that, Ebube. That's quite enlightening. Thank you so much. Like you both said, a workbook is like the combination of different worksheets, and an Excel workbook is an Excel file. So that is the difference between Excel workbook and Excel worksheets. Please let's not interchange it, because if you don't know this difference and then you start calling yourself data analyst outside, people will be looking at you like, what are you saying? So we have to know all these basic things before we can say we are vast in analysis. Okay, so going forward, we are now going to the interface of Excel, what we'll find on an Excel sheet and the likes. So I'm going to be sharing my Excel But before that, let me go through the slide first before I share my Excel file. So these are like snapshot of what you find on an Excel sheet. We have what we call ribbons. You can see my arrow here is pointing on some of the ribbons. We have files as a ribbon. We have home tab. We have the insert. We have the draw ribbons. We have the page layout. We have the formulas, data review, help, Acrobat, Power Pivot, and the likes. And we still have more. This is not all of the ribbons showing. As you move forward in this class, you will see more of different ribbons based on the tasks you are handling on that sheet at that time. We also have some task bar. We have quick access toolbar. So these are the ones you will see easily when you open an Excel sheet. We have the paste, copy and paste, the different formats for your fonts, and we have wrapping text, merge and center, changing your formats, your cell formats. Either you want it to be in dates, you want it to be in you want to customize your cell. So those are the things you easily see. We have conditional formatting here, format as table, cell size, insert, delete a table or delete a cell or a row or column formats. And we can see create a PDF, sort and filter. So these are the things we'll be working with in this class as we go on. We also have what we call formula bar. So you can see my arrow here. So whatever you're doing on your Excel or in your cell, if it is a formula, this is where you see your formula in full view. You can see it. This is the formula bar. This is where you see your formulas in full view. We also have what we call worksheet. You can see it here. Worksheet. So this is like a one page on your Excel workbook. These are the things you find on your Excel sheets. So let me open my Excel sheet so that we can see what we are talking about. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you. Okay, so this is a typical example of what a worksheet looks like. And we can see what I just explained. These are our ribbons. This is where we have history of our Excel workbook. We also have inserts. Here you see different toolbar here. We have under this insert, this is where we find pivot table, adding shapes, inserting graphs, inserting shapes, text box. These are where you see all this toolbar. They are all under insert report. And then we also have what we call draw. Draw here, these are where we see different functions if you want to draw or design a shape or something on your Excel worksheet. We also have what we call page layouts. Page layout, these are under this page layout, you see the formats as to what you want your page to look like, your colors, the effects you want to put on your page layout. This particular ribbon is very good when you are trying to build like a dashboard on your Excel. So you are going to be playing with this ribbon a lot when it comes to creating a dashboard on Excel. So page layouts will be your go-to. And then we also have formulas. These are the formula. These are the toolbars for formula. We have insert functions. We have auto sum. These are where you see your recently used formulas. You can see here, these are the recently used formulas for my own sheet. So as you work, you get to see all of the recent formulas. This is like the history book of your formulas on Excel. And then we have financials. These are I think if you are trying to like go into financial analysis or analysis, you really dwell on this particular toolbar. Then we have the logical. These are where you find the if, else, and if not, if error, switch, or not. These are where you see the functions as well. And then these are the text. These are where you use, these are for the text functions. For example, if you want to trim your cell or the content in your cell, if you want to clean, concatenate, find, remove or extract a particular left value, these are where you find the functions. We also have the date and time functions as well. These are where you find it. And we have look and reference. So this is where you find your V lookup, your H lookup, your everything that has to do with looking up a value. These are where you find your functions. We have the maths and trig functions or toolbar. These are where you find functions. And then if you want to see more of the functions, these are where you see based on what you're trying to achieve. Yeah. So these are the functions under the formula ribbons. And then we also have what we call data. So this data ribbon is where you dwell on when you are trying to clean or work on your data. So this is the particular ribbon you dwell on for cleaning your data. We also have review. You get to see the spelling, the workbook statistics, checking accessibility, smart lookup. So these are the toolbar under this ribbon. Then we have the view. This is for when you have like a table, or if you want to make some changes in your table. These are where you see the toolbar for this. Then if you want to get more insight or understanding of what some function is in Excel, you get this from this particular L ribbon. Then the Acrobat is when you want to create a PDF with your Excel workbook. And then the Power Pivots, this is where this is like, I don't know if you know modeling. So modeling is, you find it in Power BI as well. But here, this is the model interface on Excel. This is the Power Pivots. We call it Power Pivots. So these are examples of ribbons that you find on Excel. And like I said, this is the formula bar. This is the formula bar. And then this is the naming box as well for your cells. Like you can see my cursor is moving on each cell. It's changing. It's giving us the name of where our cursor is on the Excel sheet. So these are the examples of what we find on Excel. Do we have any questions before I go further? Any questions? Are we good to go? If you are good to go, just give me thumbs up. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Bibi. All right. Okay, so I'll be going back to my slides now. Okay, so based on your thumbs up, I can agree that we all understand the Excel interface and the basics of what we can find on Excel sheets. So moving forward, this is like, I think I already explained this particular naming box. So we also have what we call cell referencing in Excel. For example, if you can recall, my cursor was on a particular cell, and the name on it is giving the name in the naming box is giving A1. That's like a cell reference. It's referencing, it's giving us an idea of where we are on the Excel sheet. For example, based on this screenshot here, you can see this the green box is under A, and we also have what we call rows and column in Excel. So we can see here the cursor is giving us A1. This is like a relative referencing. It's giving us direct information as to where our cell is. We have different type of cell referencing. We have the relative reference, we have the absolute, and then the mix. So the absolute and mix will be treated by the time we start doing a lot of formulas and the likes. So these are where the absolute and mixed interface or referencing will be treated properly. So for context, I will just go through what each of these referencing does. So like I said, we have relative referencing, absolute referencing, mixed referencing as well. For example, we have A1, a cell can be referenced as A1, and then we also have, when you see like a dollar or when you put a dollar in your Excel reference name, so a dollar sign gives like a lock function to your Excel or your formulas. So like I said, we'll go deeper by the time we start giving or looking at the formula or the logical functions in Excel. So these are where we understand what this dollar sign is used for when it comes to referencing in your Excel. So for example, like I said, what is locked? For relative referencing, there's no dollar sign. You can see here, nothing is locked. We are not locking any cell. Then we also have absolute referencing. So we can see the way the absolute referencing is done. So the dollar sign is done for the beginning of the Excel name, of the cell name, and then in the middle between the Excel name. So that is, we are trying to lock the colon and then the row for this particular referencing. That is both colon and then the row is staying fixed on a particular cell. So whatever, for example, if you are trying to click and drag, if you use this lock, this dollar sign, whatever you are dragging is not going to be applied for other. It's not going to be applied for other cells by the time you drag, because you've locked that particular cell. So then for the mixed referencing, so the dollar sign is always placed in between your cell reference. So we are trying to lock only the row. So the colon changes, but the row stays fixed. So that is what mixed referencing as what it means. So we have two types of mixed referencing. We have the one for row and then the colon. So if you put the dollar sign before the name of the cell, they are trying to lock or make your column fixed while your rows change. So these are the kind of referencing we'll have to familiarize ourselves with as we go by. Do we have question on this referencing part before I go further? Questions? Any question? If we are good to go, please thumbs up. Let's know that we are following. Thank you, Vivi. Thank you, Ebenezer. All right. So since we are following, let's go to the next. So still under the Excel foundation, we will not be doing a lot of calculations today. We just want to familiarize ourselves with the basics in Excel. So our next class will do more of hands-on. We will not be looking at slides in our next class. So we have some functions. We have the mathematical functions, which are which falls under sum, average, divide, multiplication. So on this slide, we have sum and average. So these are example of basic aggregation functions that we have, or aggregate functions that we have in Excel. So the sum is, we all know that sum is like getting a total of a particular value or some values. Then average is like getting like half value of what we have. And so we have what we also call count function, count all, which is also inverted as count A. So we are trying to count numbers, count numbers. Then the count A counts anything in your Excel sheet. So that is different between the count and then the count A. So we also have logical function as well. This is where the if function comes in. We have the if function, the if error, if else, if next. So these are examples of logical functions that we have in Excel. You can see here a typical example of how if functions work. We'll be looking at how all of these functions work in our next class. So we are trying to familiarize ourselves with all of these functions today. So we're looking at VLOOKUP as well in our next class. I'm sure some of you might have heard VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is a very common function when it comes to cleaning or doing your analysis. So VLOOKUP is a very important function that we have to take note of, and we'll be doing more of the practical of these functions in our next class. We also have similar functions like index match. It gives like similar, it's a bit similar to VLOOKUP, but it's still in that frame of lookup and referencing. So these are another functions that we'll be looking at in our next class. Then the text functions, we have the left, we have the right, we have the trim, we have the concatenate. We also have what we call proper. That is if you want to change, for example, we can see in this screenshot here, we have this Excel has all of the item, the values under the item are all in small caps, and then the last value, that's the croissant, has like it's the only one in big caps. So for example, if you want to change this to like a small cap or small letters, this will make use of the function of proper functions. So these are examples of the things we'll be looking at in our next class. The trim, the left, the concatenate as well. Do we have any questions? Because this is where I'll be stopping for in today's class. I'm not going into any practical today. I just want us to familiarize ourselves with the basics or what we should be expecting in our practical class for next class. Any questions, any suggestions, any inputs? Do we all understand what we've been talking about so far?
Yeah, we understand what you've said so far.
Okay.
Even though it's kind of very logical.
Yeah.
I believe as time goes on, we'll be able to adapt to everything. I think that was why most of the people are not saying anything. Probably
Yes,
maybe some of them, this is the first time of doing a practical Excel.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's just a guess.
It's just a guess. I guess that
Even I myself have dealt with a lot of Excel, but Excel is something you can't just know because there are new things that are evolving each and every day. And it's just something that is kind of peculiar to you, most especially when we are trying to query a particular function. It's not easy. You have to make sure you think. So that was why you made mention of analytical thinking.
Yeah.
So
yes, thank you so much, Ryan. So in our next class, I'll be dropping a sample data that I'll be using, because as I'm practicing or as I'm running any function, we as well, we have to be doing it in the background, so we have a better understanding of whatever we'll be talking about in the next class. I think before, or a day before, or in the morning before the class, I'm going to drop the raw data that we'll be using for the practical class. Yes. So since we are done for this particular phase, over to Mr. Ola.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Susan.
Thank you.
Let's appreciate it's been a very good class. If you've learned one or two things, let's see your appreciation somewhere there. Thumbs up, claps, whatever. Just let us know you learned something. All right. Thank you so much for that. I believe one or two people can testify that they have learned something today. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So it's just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg, the way they used to say. And you can imagine what is lined up for you for the next 7 weeks that we'll be here together. So, having said that, I want you to pay serious attention to the things we do. Class work, practice exercises, homework, whatever name we call it, that we give to you to do. The only way you can help us and help you at the same time is to just take those things serious and do them. And so it has started. Please don't come late for any reason. As much as you can, make sure you are here 6 p.m. on dot. Now, like I said earlier, if you are here, you have not exactly paid your commitment fee. This might just be the last time you will have access to what we are doing here. And for those of you who have made that commitment, once this video is ready, you will get a link that directs you to where you can rewatch it if you have to rewatch it. All right. So that's basically that. And if you have not followed us on any of our social media handles, feel free to do so. In fact, do so as a matter of urgency. Then regularly, we need you to post on LinkedIn and tag SmartEdge Consulting Analytics. Let's together make this journey. To learn 1 or 2 things from here. Let people see your journey. The reason I particularly want you to do that is because when people see your journey as you grow, it becomes a kind of social proof that they were part of your journey all along the way. So when you apply to jobs or to partnership, to internship, to whatever, those who follow along from the start of your journey will also be able to vouch for you and say, yes, we have seen him do this consistently. And up to this point, we can say he's really committed. And for everybody that is being employed, beyond the skill that you are going to bring is the commitment that your employers are looking for. And one of the ways to demonstrate that is to consistently talk about the things you are doing at the moment, which is this upskilling you are doing right now. Follow us on LinkedIn, make a post and tag SmartEdge Consulting Analytics. I will be there to like it, to share where necessary, and also make comments, because this is the beginning of a great journey for you. All right. So if you are not registered on our website yet, please feel free to do so. I don't mean registration for bootcamp, I mean just register on the website to be a part of our community. That's very, very crucial. And also be part of it. That's basically all I have to say for this evening. So for those of you that have been invited to the Google Classroom, pay attention to that place, watch out, because after now, all the links and the conversations will also be happening on the Google Classroom. So it's very important that you check your email from time to time because you'll be getting notification from there. I think there is something else I wanted to say. Okay, that's about that. Any other information will be passed across in the groups. So thank you everyone for making it to this class. So Ms. Esther, you are very much welcome. Mr. Robert, thank you for being here. Ms. Suziat, it's been a great session. Thank you so much. So we meet again on Wednesday, 6 p.m. West African time. Don't come late. So at this point, if there are no questions, suggestions, additions, subtractions, anything at all that you need clarification on, I will say we'll call it a day. And I'll see you in the next class. Have a great evening, everyone.